All right, team. Welcome back to another collaboration between FBA University and Helium 10. And so you've seen Lem with us before, but Lem Turner from Helium 10 is kind enough to join us today. Lem, thank you for joining us. How is everything in your world?
It's going great. I know it's been a while since I've been on, but I always enjoy the time I have being on here. It's always fun showing you guys some of the new tools and features we have here at Helium 10. So yeah, it's been fun. How about you guys?
Dude, life is fast right now, my man. But
Isn't it
yeah, a
always?
lot of a lot. Yeah, there is no off button, but
Yeah.
no, a lot of fun in our own brands, just kind of building and learning really what's new, especially
Mhm.
some things with TikTok, and then just building this community. It's been a blast, and Ryan and I are actually meeting up in New York City next week. So
Awesome.
we've got some things coming that we're excited about as well.
Yeah, look out on the YouTube. You might see
I'll
something
keep
you
an eye
don't
out.
expect. So stay posted.
Well, cool. So today, what Lem's
Awesome.
Lem's gone through product research a couple
Mhm.
times with us, and Helium 10, for anyone who doesn't know, Helium 10 is your all-in-one private label tool. And so the their bread and butter and why most people sign up initially is product research. And
Mhm.
so they have a Chrome extension and a desktop version that give you access to Helium 10s, or not Helium 10s, to every single product sales members and every single customer search demands monthly searches on Amazon. So that's just getting them in the door, and then they have this bevy, like 15 plus other tools, a lot of tools to give you the ability to connect with your customer when you're building an Amazon business, because Amazon makes it very difficult. Uh,
Mhm.
and so what Lem is going to go through today is how to use the Helium 10 portals module. And that's really a few different tools in terms of creating product inserts, setting up landing pages, and really just adding to your brand value. I don't think there's another way you could do it other than paying a bunch of freelancers
Mhm.
uh, and get it done any easier. So, Lem, passing it over to you, and yeah, just let us know. I'm sure we always learn a bunch on these, so looking
Yeah.
forward to kind of going through.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and take it away. And Portals is pretty unique just because it does have a lot of little functions in there, but it is definitely a tool where for those who like feel like they got the basics down, it's one of the first tools you want to look at in Helium 10. Of once you feel like you got the basics down of, all right, now that I got like my foundation set, how do I build up? How do I advance forward? And Portals is certainly a tool that can help you achieve that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. That's
Yeah, I always learn more than the students on these sessions
I
learn.
tried to.
You
I
always come
tried
with
to.
come with the heat.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's loading right now.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when it fully loads.
All good on my side.
All right.
Sure.
Cool. I'll go ahead and proceed then. Here is our portals
Yep. Got it.
dashboard here. And really, it's kind of like what Mike just said, where you have tools where you can build your landing page, which is what we call portals. You have QR code feasibility. You can make custom barcode labels if you want to put that on your packaging. If you're in charge of having your own custom packaging design, we have product inserts. We have templates for landing pages, and then we house all of your customer information like emails and things of that nature. And you can even purchase a custom domain through our portals tab, which is pretty interesting to see. And then we'll see how all of these kind of relate to each other moving forward. So here we have our portals. As you can see, we have around 8 active portals that are just set up as tests. We have a crazy number of clicks only because we had our Bigger, Better launch webinar, I think yesterday, and we were using one of the portals as an example, and we asked people to look into it, and it just like skyrocketed. So we don't usually get that many clicks because this is just like an example account, but that just goes to show like it's very reactive. You can see the number of visits we have to our portals. You can get an idea of your monthly scans for your QR codes. You have a limit of around, or if you are an elite account, you have a limit of around 100,000 scans, but other accounts are like around 20 to 50,000. So something that's like, I have never ever heard once of a Helium 10 member reaching their monthly scan limit for QR codes, because just doesn't happen. It doesn't get that high. So, but it allows you to see like quickly, like, all right, how many times my QR code's been scanned. Then you're able to have your typical visual analytics throughout your dashboard here, through the overview, the portals compared by visits, portals compared by clicks. And again, portals is just your landing pages. So these are just our landing pages that have been set up. You can compare it by click-through rate and by email collection, which is really cool if you are really a visual person and you're also analytical. You can kind of get these quick glances of information, these quick bites of data right from the get-go in your dashboard, instead of having to like dive deeper into each and individual landing page and get the information from there. But here, of course, like setting up a landing page, it sounds difficult. And usually it is difficult, right, to set up a landing page for your product. But what I like about portals is that it makes it pretty much seamless, where you're not like trying to figure out, oh, I pressed the wrong button, or where does this go? Where does that go? Like, it's just easier than it makes it easier than it actually is, which is really one, appreciative that it's now easier to do, and two, frustrating that like other platforms can't figure it out, right? That it's not as easy as it should be, because it really is. So what I like about portals is we have this underrated thing called blueprints, where it kind of just sets you up with an actual blueprint, like a map of, hey, if you're looking to accomplish this, you're going to want to go to X, Y, Z. If you want to accomplish that, you're going to want to do 1, 2, 3, things of that nature. So we're going to click on blueprints. And we can see we have some blueprints set up right here already. But we're going to go ahead and on the right side of our screen, we're going to click on create new blueprint. And once we do that, we're going to see these are the top 3 common use cases when it comes to building landing pages. Oh, did my video freeze?
I'm still with you. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, then maybe
no,
just froze on my end. My bad. But you have your 3 blueprint categories, which are your most common use cases, which are warranty activation, for offering a product warranty after a sale, to try to get maybe an email or some sort of information from the customer that you can house in your own email list. A social media following, if you're looking to grow your off-platform presence as a brand, either on like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it be, and you have the claim coupon code, which is really good for product launches, or if you're trying to kind of push sales off-platform, you can kind of push people to purchase your product instead of through Amazon, through Shopify. So then you can get your own data housed in there, just because we know that Amazon's very customer centric and very protective of customer data. So this is kind of, again, goes all back to what Mike said of like, this is really where this separates the boys from the men when it comes from building a brand, and building a brand, especially that the aggregators and really big companies will look to acquire. These will make the differences in that regard. So we're going to do the most common one, which is warranty activation. So that way we can try to get an email in exchange of offering a warranty. So we'll click on that, and we'll see that we have our warranty activation steps. And what I like about this, and I wish more of our tools did this, but what I like about it is that it tells you the approximate time it's going to take you to set this all up, right? If you went in product research and you knew just right away it only took you 5 minutes, you'd be like, oh man, I might do it. But if it took you 2 hours, you might be like a little hesitant about it. But here, I like that it tells you right off the bat, it's going to take you around 30 minutes. And then it has kind of like a process, which kind of goes all back to our tabs here of how they all relate, which is, hey, when we have a warranty activation, this is kind of the step from the customer perspective of when the order is delivered, they're going to open that order, and then they're going to see a product insert that talks about the warranty activation, how do you activate it, probably with the QR code that's on there. Then the customer is going to probably scan that QR code and get brought to a landing page that talks about how to activate the warranty, and where they're going to provide their email in exchange for the warranty. And then that email is going to be housed in your customer information tab, where you're going to be able to utilize that as an email list for future marketing purposes, or for when you have new product launches and things of that nature. So that's why I like it. Kind of has that very direct cadence of it. And what I like about it is that you can do it all within Blueprints. You don't have to like navigate between these different tabs and go, oh, I gotta go product inserts, or I gotta go to QR codes, and then I gotta go to customer information. You can just do it all within Blueprints. So again, just maximizing the efficiency and the time that people have, because time is money. And I know that not everyone wants to spend 2 hours in Helium 10. I know maybe I do, but I might be one of the few. But I know everybody's like, I only got 45 minutes to spare. I'm on my lunch break. Like, I just want to learn how to do this, and this is a really easy way to do that. So we're going to click on Create, and we're going to see our steps here. So first, we're going to name our blueprint. We're going to name it LEMS Blueprint. And then we have our first step. So once the order has been delivered, well, first off, what I like about this is that it's letting us know that our blueprint steps have not been finished or activated. It's going to recommend the next step, just in case we forget, like, hey, what is the next thing we want to do? And we're going to see that we can go into a product insert. So we're going to click on Edit right there. And directly, it takes us to the product insert tab. Like if we were to click on product inserts, this is where it would take us, but we don't have to do that. We just click on it from Blueprints and go from there. Here, I'll make sure to title this too, LEMS Blueprint. So that way you can see it all in one place. And then we have our features here, which are to see, hey, we can show it inches or centimeters. We can do portrait or landscape. We have different dimensions based on the most common dimensions here, and most common dimensions that if you're sourcing private label and you have a manufacturer who's able to produce product inserts for you, you can get that created there as well. Or if you want a single-sided or double-sided, which will depend on the template that it will provide you. So let's just do the basics. Let's do 6x4 landscape single-sided. Now we're going to click on Save and Continue. And then we have our templates here. So we have a ton of different templates. Like if you were to go to this tab, we have probably over 20 different templates, but specifically for warranty activation, these are the templates that we have available. So we can kind of go look at these and say, all right, these look pretty interesting. Let's preview these, see what it's looking like, see if we like the kind of setup of it. We can customize pretty much everything in here, but if you just want like a launch pad for how to get started on your product insert, that's totally okay. So we can go ahead and look at that and expect it. We can see it at different sizes. If we were to go bigger or smaller with the 6x4, or if we were to go like the small one, that's like almost like a business card, we can kind of see the different orientations of that. We can preview this one. I'm feeling good about this one. It's good. It looks branded. We're just going to go ahead and move forward with this one. Once we feel good about it, we'll click on Choose. And then we have our QR code. At this moment, we don't need to worry about the QR code, but it's going to integrate the QR code, our QR code, into this tab. So at this moment, we don't necessarily need to worry about enabling this. All we're going to do is click on Save and Continue. So that QR code has already been put in there. It doesn't go anywhere at the moment, only because we haven't set up our landing page. But we can see that we can edit pretty much anything we want in here. We can provide more information here. So that's like, hey, this is LEMS warranty insert. You know, you can talk about your brand. You can talk about what the warranty includes. You can talk about the terms and conditions, anything you essentially want to do. You can give them instructions here. You can put in more like images if you wanted to. You can have the company name right there. You can see on the right side, we can kind of edit the text style if you want to change it to be more consistent with our branding. Let's do sriracha. That's a little spicy right there. We're making it look good. We can have our images here, and you can have your images here. You can upload more images just by clicking on Add a Custom Image, and then it'll populate, your upload page where you can upload any images that you've downloaded in your documents or within your hard drive. So you can upload more images. So here you can upload any branded images that you have. But, I feel good about where this is at right here. Let's say it looks all clean and I got it to everything I want it to be. I'll click on Save and Finish. So then I got my product insert done. That's the first step of my blueprint. Now we're going to move on to our QR code. So here, all I got to do is I can click on Edit It, because I want to change the title just to make sure that it's LEMS QR code. And let's say I wanted to include a logo in there, right? In the Project X account in Helium 10, we have our Manning's Mysterious Oddities. If I wanted to, I can include the logo in the QR code. Some logos work, some don't. This is kind of odd, but if you have like a really like direct, if we were to use like probably like the Helium 10 logo, it'd probably work really well. You can use it as a central image, or you can use it as the background if you wanted to. Again, this logo doesn't really work with it. It kind of looks clunky because it's mostly black. But if we were to use like the Helium 10 logo, it probably would look a lot cleaner. So it's up to you if you want to do that. No worries at all. You can change your QR colors as well if you wanted to make it more branded and more in line with your own brand colors. You don't necessarily have to include the URL inside the QR code if you can just eliminate that if you wanted. And this is not something that I see many people manipulate, but if for whatever reason you don't like the dot scale on this, you can always reduce it and make it look smaller. But I don't know, that's up to you. I just do the typical one because that doesn't confuse anybody. But, you know, if for the 1% of people who want to have that choice, you know, all the more power to them if they want to do that. So we're going to go ahead, click on save and finish, and then we're going to activate it. And you can see, or actually if I go back to edit it, you can see that it only has like the QR code URL, but it's not attached to a portal yet. So when I go ahead and I see the QR code URL, but there's no portal URL right here. But I'm going to click on activate. And right now the QR code is activated, meaning that I could link up this QR code, but it's not going anywhere. But for it to go somewhere, I now need to go and activate my portal. So I'm going to click on edit right here to edit my portal. And then I can upload any images that I want to utilize, or I can embed a video. Like pretty much any of your branded assets or branded videos that you want to upload, you can do that here. And then just pick and choose from it once you get to the step of building your landing page. But we don't have any and it's optional, so we can just go ahead and move forward.
Wow.
Oops, gotta title this Lem's Blueprint. Here, this is pretty neat that we have. We have pixel tracking that you can incorporate into here. So let's say somebody scans that QR code from a product insert, you can incorporate different types of pixels so that way you can make sure you can incorporate or you can utilize them for retargeting purposes or make lookalike audiences in Facebook or not necessarily most experience with TikTok or Google Analytics, but you could utilize that to make some sort of audience for that as well if you want to retarget them.
Which TikTok one is new, man. That's brand new.
Yeah, we added that in a while ago. I know TikTok, obviously, like this time last year, there was not a pixel for it. But, you know, we're incorporating new things. And then if there are like custom tracking codes that you have for on less popular platforms, you can always incorporate that too. And it's pretty simple. All you got to do is just click on a check mark and then put in that information there. And then here, of course, now that we know, for those who have an understanding of their mobile versus desktop traffic, as the heavy majority, if not all sellers, should already know that there are some products where the heavy majority are mobile users, right? And so that's what I like about being able to enable deep linking, because it allows you to, when you attach it to an Amazon page, instead of it going to Amazon.com, and let's say I scan it with my phone with a QR code, if it's instead of it going to opening up Safari and then going to the actual Amazon.com website, it's going to enable it to go to a certain place within the Amazon app, which I like. And if you want to incorporate that, you can enable deep linking if that's something you're interested in, of growing and making sure you're nurturing your mobile traffic that you typically get to your product listing, which I think is pretty smart. So then we have all this page tracking features here. It's all optional, but we're going to go ahead, click on save and continue. And then this is where if you purchase a domain through us, this is where you can incorporate it. Typically it's going to say, it's going to have portals.click and then like a typical URL here, or you can incorporate some of the other custom domains that you purchase through here. Now you can connect a third-party domain through here, but just as a warning, if you do connect a third-party domain, that's going to be your only use case of that domain. Like you can't like have that website be separate and utilize it in this domain. It's just like a technical issue that people way smarter than me told me that we can't do. So it's going to be separate like that. Or you could purchase one through Helium 10. It uses the same search engine as GoDaddy. So you're going to be able to purchase a domain for, as low as $2. So if we were to connect our own domain, then we can have Manny's Oddities. I can do Lem's Coffin Shelf. Like that could be the slug if I wanted it to. But for the purpose of the example, I'm just going to do the typical one that everyone does. And then let's say this is only available for a certain time. I know this is warranty activation, but let's say we're doing a coupon and we want to have it be 10 days before the product is released. We can enable scheduling so that we can use a specific time frame. And you're going to see that the artificial countdown is going to be added to the portal. It's going to say like, you have 10 days before to redeem this coupon or whatever, or maybe you have 30 days to redeem this warranty or whatever. You can do that as well, which is always pretty interesting. And of course, creates that sense of urgency there. But of course, this is just warranty activation, so we're not going to enable scheduling, but you do have that ability as well. And then let's say you wanted to share this on social media, like you wanted to share your actual portal on social media. But when you have the preview, you don't want it to show like whatever preview. You don't want to let Facebook or any other website determine what your preview is going to look like. You want to have direct control over it. So here's an example of what the preview example would be. We would have, let's say I'm sharing a portal for Manny's Mysterious Oddities. I can choose the title, I can choose the description, I can choose the image that's going to show in the preview. So that let's say I have influencers who are going to be sharing my link around and it like populates in a message. This is what's going to pop up instead of a random like Manny's Mysterious ... and then like no description and then like a random photo it takes from the website or from the portal. You know, that way I can make sure it's branded to my liking and incorporates any keywords or specific titles I want. So I can utilize that as well, which I always think is really interesting. And of course, it's only going to help your landing page and not going to hurt it at all. So we're going to click on Save and Continue. This is the fun part where we get to look at our pre-made templates here. And again, you can customize these however you want, but these are just meant to give you sort of or serve as sort of a launch pad for your process. So we're going to look at these. Let's look at this first one. It's template preview. We can see the template of it. We can kind of get an idea. We can customize all of this information. Anything that you can click on, you can customize. We can see the preview from a desktop example. We can see a preview from if you're looking on an iPad or a tablet, because of course there's all sorts of different types of traffic to our landing pages, or on your phone. And that's what I kind of really like about it, is that I can kind of get an idea of like, all right, sometimes websites look really good on a desktop and they look really bad on your phone, right? Yeah. So we can make sure that it all looks good on all forms of traffic that's available to a website. We can kind of get an idea of like,
if we're talking QR code, almost no one, like this is a little different, but people coming to your submission form are like almost 100% mobile, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to be using it for a QR code, so like that's where, for the purpose of the QR code, it will be 100% mobile, unless you are sharing this portal directly with influencers. You're going to share it on maybe like their social media accounts, where sometimes people are browsing on Facebook, or you're going to use your portal and advertising and use that link. Then that's where, that sharing part, or like the sharing feature that we went over, I think we're in publishing, that's where this social share setting comes in handy. But yeah, absolutely agree with you that, that's why making sure that your portal looks good from a phone perspective is really essential, especially if you're going to be incorporating it into your product insert. You got to make sure it looks clean, right? And of course, it aligns with your brand. So we're looking at this here. We can kind of have an idea here. All right, I'm liking, well, let's look from a phone perspective. Yeah, I like this one. Let's do this one. We're going to choose this one. And you can see we can kind of pretty much edit anything here, right? And so again, keeping in mind that this is our warranty activation thing, we're trying to get an idea. What we're trying to do is push our customers to provide us with an email address. And while not all products, not for all products, it doesn't always make sense to offer a warranty. But again, keep in mind that we're trying to get this email from them. So we're going to say, get covered under our free extended warranty by entering your email, or activate your free extended warranty.
Lem, on this one, can you capture SMS as well, or is that not allowed?
I don't know if it's necessarily a question of like, is it allowed or not allowed, but I think that feature is just not included in here. Now, I think you could, like, I'm pretty sure you can include like another placeholder, or if you wanted to change yeah, that's a good question. I'd wonder if you could do that.
Placeholder is that says email address here. I think you could change to phone number.
Yeah, if you want to do phone number instead.
Yeah.
You could do that. Now, of course, when it comes to like the rules of like SMS marketing or things of that nature, I cannot comment on that. I have no idea what's allowed and not allowed. But if you are familiar with it, then go for it. That's it's your world.
Yeah. The open rates for SMS are huge, like 90% versus like
you know what you're doing with SMS, or you got a good contact of who can help you out with there. Portals can be a really great resource for you. So assuming that we're going in, we're editing all this 100%. Information, we're putting in all this stuff. Now we can do let's go to our about or our forms, and then we can click on the show or hide the thank you right here. And we can kind of have a function here if we want to include the coupon code or group coupon code or have a PDF that like kind of displays after it. But in this case, we're just trying to collect the email right here. Now, depending on where you are, I know that parts of Europe and I think California and maybe another state, they do require GDPR compliance, which just means that people have to actively opt into being sent emails from you. So we just always recommend just to make sure you're on the safe side and you don't get, sued by that one savvy person who knows that like you didn't do this. Just enable GDPR compliance so that way like, hey, when they put in their email and they click on this box, or they check this box right here, then that they're good to go and you can contact them about any opportunities or email marketing purposes or whatever. We click on our show you the thank you for subscribing. We can click on this, we can edit it. It's like your warranty has been activated. You can edit this text here. We have our stop now button, which this is the interesting part when it comes to portals is, of course, we can like incorporate the branding, we can change the text, whatever it is. But what I think is most interesting is that there's different types of URLs that you can incorporate here. So we have about 6 different URLs, one specifically for Walmart, or if you do a custom URL for Walmart. So 2 that apply to Walmart and 5 that apply to Amazon. So we have our custom URL. If you just want to do, maybe you're not directing them to your Amazon site. Maybe it's to your Shopify site. Totally a place where you can put in your custom URL. Let's say it's google.com. I can click an add there. But maybe I have a different URL. Maybe I have a different landing page for my Shopify site that I also want to test out. So maybe it's, again, this is just an example, bing.com. I can add those 2 and I can split up my traffic to go 50% to Google, 50% to Bing, or to whatever landing pages I want, and kind of test that traffic to see, hey, which of these landing pages converts better post-purchase for my Amazon customers, and really kind of almost do my own form of A/B testing there, which I think is always really interesting. And of course, if you have that ability to be able to, incorporate multiple landing pages within this portal page, the more data you have, the more power you're going to have. So I think that's also a really smart thing that not a lot of people do, honestly, in portals, or don't realize that you can do in portals.
Yeah, this is awesome. Lem, quick question. If I wanted to, so I've got an ebook for a lot of my products. If I wanted to hook
your
that
ebook
up,
like in a PDF form? Yeah, you should be able to do that. I think I see.
Yeah, it's PDF.
If you can for sure. I've had students do that before. So you just need to you just need to have a URL that opens in a tab that's your PDF, and then that PDF redirect right there will go to that URL, and so it'll open up in a new tab.
Got you. So say if I host my PDF on Gumroad, I could hook it up here?
I haven't seen it done. I don't know about that. I think you have to connect it to 2 portals now.
Yeah. Unless it's like
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, so
you would.
PDF here, right, where it says choose file, and then it's good to go? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so easy.
So you got it right here, so you can do that as well. But yeah, we have our ebook selecting platform engine. Of course, when it comes to this button, we have our different URL types like we just talked about. We have our canonical URL, which for Amazon, if you're looking to incorporate specific keywords that you want to, boost your organic rank, or let's say you have multiple products in your brand, and they only purchase one product from your brand, you want to direct them towards your other products, but you also want to take advantage of some of the keywords that they might utilize. You can type in whatever keywords that make sense for your product, and then type in that, put in your ASIN, and add that into there. So that way you can kind of get some more organic juice if you do get a sale from that and, benefit from that. Then we also have some of our other URL types, which is just one that just directly adds it to the cart, which again, since we have deep linking, it's going to add it to the cart. And if they scan it with the QR code on their phone, it's going to do it directly into the Amazon app so they can check out right away immediately. You have your targeted ASIN search. You want to incorporate that with your own ASIN. So for whatever reason you want to strengthen that, you can go for it. Or you can do the buy together if you want to kind of send a signal to Amazon that, hey, this is my ASIN, but I want to bundle it with these other ASINs in here that might be associated with my brand. Like maybe you're trying to do like a multiple add to cart. You can do that as well with buy together. So let's go ahead. Make that 100. I'll edit that. I'll make that. Just make that Manny's Mysterious Oddities. Let's make that this coffin shelf page right here. Paste it in there. Okay, I feel good about that. So it's like let's go form, hide that. All right, I can edit any of the other information on here. What I like too is that we do provide you with a policy statement or a policy statement in terms of use, sort of legalese type of lingo that we do have in our, I believe it's in our templates right here, just so you can utilize, so you don't have to make your own. So it's just more so like a copy and paste. So you have that attached to here. But let's say, we edit all this, we feel good about where everything's at. All right, I'm good to go. Or I need to change this from subscribe to activate, because again, we're trying to activate the warranty here. The coupon doesn't apply. I can just delete that. All right, I feel good about that. I'm gonna click on save and finish. I do click on save and finish. It's gonna ask me first, do I want to publish this portal? Like meaning the others can visit. It's gonna be live. I'm like, yep, all good with that. It's gonna give me it's gonna look at this, and then once I click on activate, it's going to give me a warning that, hey, you have lorem ipsum placeholder text, which is just like kind of like the text that's in there to notify you that, hey, you can put in more text here, which I like, because then sometimes, you miss an area or two. So this is to make sure that you don't have anything that's not supposed to be in there. So it's going to warn you with that. But in this case, this is just an example, so I'm okay with it. We'll click on Lem's Blueprint. It's activated. So now I'm going to, I can copy this portal URL. So I'm going to copy and paste that into here. I see I have this portal URL right here. Everything looks how, I ideally wanted it to look like. I can put lem at gmail.com. Yes, I agree to opt in caffeine updates. I'm going to activate. Cool. My warranty's been activated. Ooh, shop now. What are we shopping for? Oh no, I put in a typo. See, this is why you test it out, because then you can go back and edit it. Wonder what my typo was. Oh, okay, I see what happened. So I'm going to click on, I'm just going to edit this again. Go back to my form, show that. Look at this. Oh, I see what happened here. I copy and pasted that twice here. All right, let's get rid of that. Rookie mistake right there.
Rookie move.
All right, click on update, save and finish. All right, let's try it again.
Hey, Lem, as you get to that question on the actual warranty page.
Yeah.
So if you scroll down right now, there's like a bunch of noise, but everything you really want is in the top section. Do you recommend, what I usually do is just have the top section. What's your view on having kind of a whole landing page, or just that top section.
Yeah, I definitely agree that in like 90% of cases, it's the top section that I'm going after, where I only want the top section just because it's already impressive enough that somebody scanned that QR code, went to this landing page. I don't want to distract them with other noise here. The only time I would consider including that is if I know I have a product that has a large subscribe and save customer base. Then what I'm trying to do with this additional information is really push into that brand loyalty. And maybe this is opportunity for, maybe I have this to get their information, but this area could be an opportunity for me to display some of my other brands, because clearly they are buying from me repeatedly. And that might be something where I target those that, repurchase my product. And I go after them with showing them my other products. But, that's only if you have a large product assortment that you want to display. But 90% of the time, I'm only going to do like just the top half, just because I want to limit the amount of distractions on my landing page and get them to, enter in their information right here. Sure, click on that, activate, shop now. Oh my gosh, I'm just not doing things right with the URL, I guess. We got dog-eared. Whatever. We understand the point. Love, you just put in that URL, you'd come to that page, you feel good about it, and then we would click on, go back to this Lem's Blueprint. We feel good about that. We'd save it. We have all this information. And then if we go back to the QR code, like Lump's Blueprint right there, we go back to QR code, we can see that it has included that portal URL. So it's already attached in that portal URL. So if we were to scan this with our phone right now, it would go directly to that portal URL. And boom, there you have it. And then let's say, like, what I really like about this is, I'm going to preview this. All right, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to scan it right now with my phone. We're going to scan it, go to the portal, and it's going to show me that I scanned it right there. It's really quick. I just did it. One visit, we had 0 before. I can click on the QR code statistics. I can see that it's attached to this portal link. I had one scan. It's attached to one product insert. I can see the devices that was scanned on is mobile or desktop. Of course, you're not going to get desktop because of the QR code, but you're going to see we had one mobile scan right here, but you might have tablet too. You can see the country is the United States and Noblesville, which is where I live right now. North of Indianapolis in Noblesville. So that's what's nice, that you kind of get that geographic information that sometimes, Amazon, they're not always going to provide you with that information, or you can kind of get an idea of, geographically, what audiences really respond the most to your product inserts, and kind of get an idea there too as well.
Wow. Yeah, and you just did that entire module in 25 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, so like that was the blueprint estimation, right? It was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Did it in 25. Like I even messed up a couple of times and had time to spare, so we're looking good here of like saving us time. So yeah, that's kind of the general, or at least the main use case of portals. Of course, there are some that only use it for the barcode labels. There are some that only use it for product inserts, and those are really interesting areas to look at as well.
Yeah, and I know Lem touched on this, but Amazon, so to build an email list and to get a customer email on Amazon is now basically impossible. So even if within the buyer-seller messaging platform, a buyer were to send you their email, it gets redacted before it actually gets to you. So this is, in terms of brand value, building free marketing and sending people off of Amazon to a Shopify store or even on Amazon, but just not having to compete in PPC. This is like the only way when you're starting a brand. It's so valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, that's where like sometimes like, I know that there have been,
100%.
Betas of Amazon sending emails on your behalf, like a marketing email on your behalf, if you have like a decent following within Amazon posts. But think about the amount of Amazon posts you got to make to get that following, to then send the email that's pre-templated for you, that like you can't just put anything you want in that email. It has to be pre-made for you to then send. And you still don't even have their email information. It's still like, like masked with like an Amazon privacy email. So you truly don't know like who you're sending it to. You just know that they follow you on Amazon posts. But like all that work, all that effort versus, maybe following a 25-minute process to kind of set that up for yourself and to be able to utilize that whenever and however you want. I think that's invaluable. And an expansive email list, or at least a dedicated email list, is definitely one of the big differentiating factors that aggregators look at when they're looking at acquiring brands. Of, do you have other brand assets that are invaluable that we can utilize for other purposes, or is all your data solely housed within Amazon?
Yeah. Quick question for you, Lem. On the domains then, how many people go for the custom domains? How many people go for just a regular portal URL?
80-20. Like custom domains, they look good because they like when you're sharing the link, especially if you're going to be leveraging influencers and things of that nature, they look good because then you have like a lot more clean looking URLs of like people are going to say, oh, I want to buy Manny's Oddities Coffin Shelf. I'm going to mannyoddities.com. Like that's the URL. But I'd say most people do the portals.click, and there's not, I wouldn't say that big of a drop off. It's really more so if you are just very specific about the image that you're trying to present for your brand. That's where the custom domain comes into play.
Yeah, if you're just using it for a QR code where it's almost all mobile, nobody really looks at URLs on their phone, especially when they scan. And so it would be nice to just always have the right domain, though. Lem, thank you so much. Gavin and Malik, do you have any questions before we let Lem get back to work over there?
I just to clarify what you just said, is that 80% go for custom domains or standard?
80%, or around roughly 80% use the portals.click, and I'd probably say the other 20% use the custom domain.
Okay. I have a lot of questions here, and just to be
go for it.
Just to be clear, Mike and Ryan already know this. I'm an absolute beginner, so I apologize if any of my questions sound amateur. It's because
you're good. No worries.
So portals, in a sense, I'm trying to get an understanding of what I will use this for. So what I understand so far is this is something that you offer post sale. So the customer has bought something already from you, and we're sending them maybe something in a print version or something in a web version, like this QR code, through email or through SMS. And this is sort of either to collect them as an email or something that I can reach out to them again as, or hold on, I'm mixing multiple questions up here. I'm trying to understand so the portals are generally used as a homepage to collect a customer, I guess would be my first question.
Or that's the most common use case. You can use it for pre-sale, like before the purchases, but that's if you're utilizing off-platform advertising like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever it is, you can utilize portals in that sense. If you want to offer like a coupon code, you can do that too. And so the most common use case is for the purpose of collecting an email or a phone number, and in exchange for a warranty. Now, other use cases do range from, once a customer purchases one of your products, to then collect an email and then show them one of your other products for them to purchase. If you have multiple products within your assortment, some of those might be, instead of doing that, you're trying to offer them a coupon. If you have a replenishable product, then you're trying to offer them a coupon so that way they come back and buy your product again. You can do that as well. And then we have other ones for just solely for email opt-in, like we did just now with the warranty activation. So it kind of ranges the gamut, but you're generally right that the most common use case is to collect an email in exchange for a warranty activation.
Okay. Now, do people typically use the product inserts versus the landing pages, or do you typically see people using both?
I think the heavy majority of people use product inserts only and don't set up the landing page because they assume, again, this is me arbitrarily, talking from my own perspective, is that they assume that it's too difficult to connect a landing page to a portal, or to a product insert. But I do think that you are wasting opportunity, or you're minimizing your opportunity if you don't incorporate a landing page with your portal, only because you get a good amount of data that you can utilize, and you're giving yourself the opportunity to collect an email, versus if you just have a normal product insert with no QR code, you're kind of robbing yourself of that opportunity. And while it may lead down to sales, you aren't able to leverage those sales from an analytical or data perspective for other remarketing purposes, like you would be if you did connect it to a portals or landing page in this case. Did that answer your question?
We may have lost.
Hello? Sorry.
I think, Malik, I think you're on mute there, buddy.
Automatically muted me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So as you were walking through, I found myself wondering how'd you connect the blueprint you were creating to your product or to your account? Like, I know your account is already connected, but I'm assuming this is something that sends out either before or after the sale of a product. Now, is it something specific to one individual product? Did you connect it to one product, or is this something that sends out after every one of your products sell?
So the way it is connected to your product insert, or if you're going to do like an ad on Facebook or anything like that. But specifically talking about the product, that's where you have to connect it through this button right here. When we were going through this button, you connect it to in this URL type right here. You go ahead and copy and paste in your product right there. And that's how you connect it to your product. Or if you want to split it among a variety of products, you can do that too. Like we talked about earlier, where I can just add in another product. Let's just pretend that this is another product that I'm adding in here. And then it splits it between these two URLs.
Got you.
So that's how you connect it to your product. It doesn't necessarily connect to every product in your assortment. And it doesn't like automatically send out, but assuming that you have product inserts with all your products, you're going to get a 99%, open rate when it comes to your product insert, just because, naturally they're going to see it. And then hopefully a decent chunk of them scan the QR code and go to this portal and fill out this information and then go to the pages that you've connected it to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Malik, just to clarify, the trigger to all of this, like, there's nothing digitally until the customer would scan the physical product insert that comes with your product.
Yes.
So without that, essentially nothing. You're not going to get 100% of the people to scan your product. That's not. I mean, that's unrealistic. But you want as many people as possible to incentivize with something that makes it worth their time to scan and enter their email.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes sense. That's all I have for now. I'll bug Mike and Ryan later with the rest of my questions.
Lem, random question from me.
We have over
how
2
many
million
active users does Helium 10 have right now?
That I think like a month ago. So I appreciate you asking that question, because we did just get over 2 million active users.
Insane.
And just, I think this week we crossed over 800,000 downloads on our Helium 10 Chrome extension right here. So shout out to the Helium 10 Chrome extension, 8,000 downloads, the most downloaded Amazon Chrome extension there is out there. So very happy about that.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh, congrats to you
Could
guys.
not
That's
run
insane.
your business without Helium 10. So makes sense, man.
Oh yeah.
Cool, man.
100%.
Well, thank you for joining
100%.
us. This was awesome, man. You just ran through an entire module, an entire workflow of your business for us. So Appreciate you joining us. I'll shoot you the link after, and then yeah, man, looking forward to having you back on. I know you guys are coming out with tools like every month or two, so looking forward to seeing what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me back. And it's always fun to be here and interact with you guys. It's always a good time, and it's a lot faster listening to these videos than clicking on this learn button and hearing me fumble over my words for like an hour and a half over in these videos. So be sure to be watching these videos.
Awesome.
Right,
thanks very much, Len. Appreciate it
later.
as always, buddy. I really appreciate you coming on.
Guys.